And we are live. Welcome to the Know Yourself Revolution podcast. My name is Grace Gravestock, and today I am with Dora Bradford, Coach Dora, and we are going to be talking about the pleasure code. This is going to be juicy and exciting and so much fun. And I'm going to have Dora introduce herself in just a second. But this is for you if you're ready to awaken deeper intimacy, reignite passion, and embrace pleasure like never before. In this electrifying episode of the Know Yourself Revolution podcast, I'm sitting down with Coach Dora Bradford. She's a leading expert in intimacy and sensual empowerment. We are going to be unlocking the pleasure code and the 5 secrets to creating deep, lasting passion in your life. So whether you're in a relationship or embracing self-discovery, this conversation could shift the way you experience pleasure and connection. So we have a short time together, but Dora is going to help us know how to uncover our truest desires and turn them into reality, the powerful connection between sensuality and self-expression, how to communicate your needs and sexual desires with confidence, overcoming internal blocks that keep you from embracing pleasure, and creating a passionate, fulfilling connection every single day. Wow, this is an opportunity to step into your fullest, most radiant self. So Dora, tell us a little bit more about what you're offering and how you got here. Let's start with who you are and what you do.
Okay. So I have become a certified sexual intimacy coach. And what led me here was that, for one, personally, I went through a major divorce a few years back, and I realized that we didn't have the tools that we had to really turn that around. And I think there's a lot of couples out there that wish they knew someone that could help them to overcome those barriers so that they could totally change their whole life and their whole marriage. And it's from that personal experience that I decided to do this.
Wow, that's beautiful, Dora, and that's going to be life-changing. I know that that intimacy is such a hot topic right now, and so it affects so many areas of our lives. And it's easy to push it aside and say, "I don't have time for that right now." But tell us a little bit more about why now, from your perspective, this is the time to prioritize passion and sensual pleasure.
But just like you said, Grace, it's easy to not prioritize it. However, because it affects all areas of our lives, this is one area that we should not neglect for many reasons, right? Um, and you can say, oh, I'm too busy. I don't have the energy, or I have the kids are really getting in the way. I mean, you could come up with so many different excuses. But just like, every day we get to eat, right? So why not enjoy pleasure a little bit more often by making time for it?
And what is the cost to us if we don't, Dora?
Well, at some point, especially, I work with couples that sometimes have been disconnected up to months or sometimes even years. It costs that whole disconnection with your partner, and eventually you become angry and resentful. And certainly there's a lot of loneliness and despair.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. And it feels like that's we're at epidemic levels right now. Why do you think that is?
Well, you could blame it on our busy lives, right? You can blame it on the fact that it's much easier for people to connect other ways instead of even just talking to each other, right? Um, some people just don't know how to connect emotionally.
Hmm. Yeah, connecting emotionally is such a big deal. And I think it's something that everybody wants to do, but doesn't know how to. So I imagine you're going to cover that in your upcoming workshop. Is that right?
Yes, there's different levels to connect. We can connect emotionally, physically, sexually, intellectually, and spiritually, of course. So any of those areas can really enhance our relationship. And if there's a breakdown, then we get to address it.
Yeah. So I think we all could probably imagine a time when we either had a breakdown or maybe there's people watching right now that are in a breakdown. Are you going to actually walk through how to address the breakdown in your upcoming workshop, Dora?
I believe if I have a brave soul that wants to be coached on in life, I'll be glad to help them, of course.
Awesome. I know this is going to be empowering. And what we're talking about is your live, very interactive, very engaging workshop. Dora and I know each other because we are both in a mastering leadership course, or not course, program. We are becoming master leaders. We are master leaders, aren't we? And we get to step into being professional trainers and leaders for empowering workshops. And so tell us a little bit more about this workshop that you've got coming up, Dora, what we can expect.
So we are definitely going to go into what it is that you really like, identify what you really want, right? Because once you identify what you really want, then you can say, hey, do I want to experience more pleasure or more orgasms or more romance in this area? And then, of course, we get to say, hey, what is it that I really want? And really be able to tell your partner what it is that you want in a way that they will receive it so that they don't feel threatened by how you're saying it.
Yeah, and so you mentioned the O word, and there's a lot of people that are hesitant to talk about sex and sexual pleasure, and it's kind of been a taboo topic for a lot of people. So what can you say about that for people who are hesitant to even speak about these things?
Well, I'm creating a safe place so that we can talk about this. So it doesn't have to be taboo. So we can say, hey, this is part of our lives. This is who we are. Why can't we just talk about this and be safe about it?
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So I know that you have a workshop and it's coming up soon. Can you talk a little bit more about the actual workshop and the time frame for it?
So the workshop will be on Zoom, will be online. It's a 2.5 hour free workshop. It's on Saturday at 2 p.m. Central Time. And I'm inviting you to come and join me. We'll have lots of juicy conversations, and definitely my intention is that those that attend will have a different mindset about it and be willing to explore other options for themselves.
Yeah, exploring options is so important, and being open to even having the conversation and even being open to considering what options are out there is a first step, right? For a lot of people, even just being willing to invest the time into sensuality, into sexuality, into self expression is going to be a stretch for a lot of people. So, what can you say to those people about what they're going to get from this time?
So we will delve into activating all of our senses when it comes to your intimacy. Um, you know, some people are visual, some people are auditory, and we get to delve into the different ways that we can activate those. So instead of just having like a quickie, we could actually have gourmet sex with your partner. And that's what I'm referring to.
Nice, nice. Okay. So if I have kids at home and I'm thinking about if I can fit this into my calendar, is this R-rated? Like if somebody walked into the room, what would they what do I need to prepare for?
So yes, definitely I'm asking that no children will be in the vicinity because I want people to be free to speak about what they want to talk about, and definitely no kids around.
Absolutely. Okay, so create a safe space. So it'll take, you mentioned 2.5 hours. That sounds like a long time, Dora. Talk about why is it that long and what does that involve?
Well, just like you said, Grace, this is an interactive workshop. It's not a lecture. And so I will be discussing different areas in that 2.5 hours. We're going to be talking about what it is, discovering your desires. We're going to discover also, we're going to go through a meditation that will definitely get you all excited and aroused. And
Yeah.
we're just
A
delving, how we,
meditation.
we're
A
just delving.
meditation and arousal. Like, talk about that, Dora. Most people don't associate those two things, I think.
Well, it's like a guided meditation, but at the same time, it's more about how our imagination is like our biggest asset when it comes to creating passion and creating a different life altogether, and especially in this area, we can have wild imaginations and have fun with it.
And isn't that interesting? I've read that our most powerful uh, sexual tool is our imagination, and so and I think the reason why that is, from the research I've read about, is that the brain does not know the difference between, or the body doesn't necessarily know the difference between what's in your imagination versus what's actually in front of you, and this is why there's so many like, I think with AI and all the virtual stuff that's coming out, there's going to be a lot in this, pioneering this space based on this exact principle, right? That it doesn't need to be real. As long as it's real in your imagination, that's what you're going to experience. So what would be the benefit of somebody coming to this as opposed to as opposed to something else? I mean, talk to us about the benefit of live, actual participation, active participation in this workshop.
Well, there's one tool that I will be sharing with everyone where you will actually go through the different areas that you may experience in a sexual relationship and really identify what it is, one, that you want, and then you get to ask your partner. So we will have an exercise where you actually identify which ones that you, what is it that you want, and then you get to ask your partner. Um, Consent, one, for them to give you that pleasure, and that you can receive it as well. So there's a um, two-way dialogue here.
Yeah, and I think that's important to note, the two-way dialogue. So this is really, I'll say I've been talking to, I've had some interesting conversations with children recently on some of these topics, and I'll just leave it there. But here's the thing that I want to make sure everybody's clear on. When the difference between real relationships that are satisfying and that are meaningful, and the things that you're going to find online, like in a video or some kind of thing that you might find on somewhere online, I'll say, is real people with real conversation and a real meaningful relationship is going to be way more satisfying and way more fulfilling, right? Right, Dora? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Definitely. I would say um, that when you are with a person at this level of intimacy, it's like it's a soul connection, Grace. And it's such a beautiful connection that you get to experience with another human, and the most vulnerable that you can actually be, right? So when we get to experience that on a skin to skin level, it's just a whole different, um, you can't really even describe it sometimes. So definitely a different level altogether.
Sorry, I was trying to find the link so I could share it with people. Do you have a short link, Dora, for people to register for this?
I can definitely put it on your site, Grace. Um,
Okay. Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes if you're interested. I'm also going to show I do have, what I do have ready is your QR code. So I'm going to go ahead, and if I can figure out how to share that, I will in just a second. Let's see. So we're going to share. Sometimes, I'm telling you, sometimes there's a learning curve. So thank you for your patience.
thank
Here
you,
we
Grace.
go. Pleasure code. Whoops, there it is. Okay, I'm going to take us. Let's see, I'll take us off. Can I do that? Is that going to work? Yeah, not sure how to do that. Hold on just a second. You know what? Here we go. Nope, that's not going to work either. Let's see. Okay, well, we will. You're having an adventure. This is called authentic, real-time live communication. Here we are. Okay, I'm going to, we're going to put that in the show notes. So it is, tell us again the date and the time, Dora.
It's this Saturday, February 22nd at 2 p.m. Central Time. And it's an online workshop on Zoom.
Okay, I'm going to just put it on Zoom. Okay, so let's see this. And you said it's on Saturday, February 22nd. Is that right?
Yeah.
At what time?
At 2 p.m. Central Time.
2 p.m. CST. Okay, so I'm going to put this on the screen. And let's see, there it is. Okay, and so in the show notes, we're going to put the actual link so that you can register for it. Dora, people can find you on Facebook, right? Is there anywhere else that you would want them to find this information?
Yes, they can go to my profile. It's Dora Bradford, and Instagram is under Coach Dora Bradford.
Okay, awesome. And so while I've got you here and we're talking about intimacy, I'll make a shameless plug for my workshop. And so mine is the Intimacy Breakthrough Workshop. This is what got Dora and I talking about this, is we're like, oh my gosh, we have similar topics. So mine is the Intimacy Breakthrough Workshop this Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. And you can register for that. It's also free, kyr.life/intimacy. That's the short code for it. And so here's the difference. So mine is about intimacy with ourselves and with others, and how the intimacy that we have with ourselves affects the intimacy we have with others. So if you've been watching me for a while, you know that the Know Yourself Revolution is all about helping you know, love, and trust yourself first. And we get to lead by example. So what does that really mean? It actually means that we get to have intimacy with ourselves. And when we know, love, and trust ourselves first, that allows us then to have knowledge, love, and trust of another. And so that really impacts our relationship. So Dora and I have very complementary topics here, and we're going to be talking about different aspects of intimacy, but that's the through line here, is intimacy. So here's the invitation. Register for my workshop on Thursday, and then register for Dora's workshop on Saturday. So there it is. And you can find her on Facebook. Say your Facebook name again, Dora.
It's just Dora Bradford. Mm-hmm.
Dora Bradford. Okay. And so it's here. And you said you're on Instagram. They can find you at?
As Coach Dora Bradford. Mm-hmm.
Coach Dora Bradford. Okay. So if you're watching right now, then there you have it. A way to find that link. And I wish I could, I thought I had it ready, but I'm not sure it's not working for me to put the QR code. So anyway, you'll see it in the show notes after this is over. And thank you so much, Dora. I'm excited about this workshop. You're doing amazing work in the world. It's so important right now to have intimacy with ourselves and with a partner. Why? Because we feel alone. I mean, there's an epidemic of loneliness, right? That on this planet, and people feel alone and they don't know how to connect. So if that's you today and you're interested in bridging that gap and having more sensual pleasure in your life, please check out this no-cost, very empowering workshop on Zoom this Saturday. Very interactive with Coach Dora. I know you're going to be in good hands. Dora and I are we're in a special program together, and so this is our breakthrough, right? This is our personal medicine for the world, and so we get to live it, we get to express it, we get to share it. And so that is what this podcast is about today, is expressing that in the world for our personal breakthrough. So my personal breakthrough is about intimacy with self and others. That's on Thursday, February 20th. And Dora's is on Saturday, February 22nd at 2 p.m. Central Standard. So thank you for being here, Dora. Is there any final words that you would have for anybody considering coming to this?
I'm saying, don't be nervous. It's going to be fun, and it's going to be a racy ride. Can't wait.
Yes, it's going to be a racy ride. Why not? Why not make it fun and easy, right?
Exactly.
Let's do this. Thank you so much, Dora.
Thank you, Grace. You have a great afternoon.
Thanks, you too.